Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lena, and in this video I will be sharing with you my first medical school acceptance. I'm currently applying in the 2020 to 2021 cycle. I got my very first acceptance during mid-December. So on the day of, I was in a conference call with one of my colleagues, and all of a sudden I've gotten a phone call with the California area code. I picked it up. They asked me if I was Lena. I said yes, and they said that I want to congratulate you that you have been accepted to our medical school. I paused for a few seconds. There were so many emotions all of a sudden that came to me. After those few seconds of pauses, I said thank you. So after the phone call, I felt a mix of emotions at that time. Probably the strongest one is that, wow, I'm really going to be a doctor now. This is my very first acceptance. That means I am going to medical school and eventually I will become a doctor. I immediately called my partner, my mom, and all of my friends to share this news with them. And with that sense of excitement definitely comes a sense of relief. I don't have to always think about whether I'm going to get into medical school or not, if I have to apply again during the next cycle, if medicine is really the career for me. That sense of certainty, no matter if I'm going to this school or not, really provided me with a sense of relief. I'm sure like people who have gone through this cycle or who have applied before also share really similar feelings, especially during the time of COVID, adds on extra comfort to you. And most importantly, I don't have to go on Student Doctor Network and check all of the updates for the schools that I applied to obsessively. I know that it's a really bad habit and I highly suggest against it. I just couldn't control myself. And now I don't have to do it, which is a great sense of relief. And after that first day of excitement, relief, celebration, as the day passes by, that kind of joy never dissipated. However, with that joy came a great sense of responsibility. It's like that now I'm not just responsible for myself, my friends and family. I'm also going to be a doctor or medical school student and learn all of this knowledge to support other people in eagerness to improve myself. Definitely started to read more, exercise more, so I could always bring my best to other people. So a little bit about myself. I graduated in 2019 and I'm currently working as a high school teacher for Teach for America. I took my MCAT. Fortunately, the last date before cancellations due to COVID, which was March 14th, 2020, while working full-time as a high school teacher. So I applied to 16 schools. I've gotten interviews at 3 of them and also one Vita interview at one of the schools. I got my first acceptance during December, and so far this is how my application cycle is. So I only applied through AMCAS, which stands for the American Medical College Application Services, and these are only applications for the MD programs. For the DO programs, there is a separate application system. So although teaching, I knew I wanted to go to medical school, so I started really early in this application process, and I think that is one of the pro tips, is to really start early, submit your application early, as well as your secondaries. I did submit my primary application on May 28th. I also gathered my letters of recommendation before that, which was like in February and March. Due to the delays of COVID, the MCAS transmission was delayed this year to July 10th, and on that day, it was the day that all of the applications, primary applications, were transferred to the medical school that you applied to. So for your school list, I think one strategy is ask yourself, if I do get accepted to this school, would I attend this school? And if the answer is yes, then apply to this school. So for all of the interviews that I've gotten, I'm more than happy to attend any of the schools that I got interviewed at or accepted to. I know at the end it's going to be a pretty hard choice, but it really helps you not waste your money just for that sense of comfort, and ultimately you're going to look at like more detailed stuff when you're choosing between the schools, which will ultimately help you make a better decision because you're looking at more specific details of the school. So as you may or may not know, that the 2020 to 21st cycle has been super unusual. MCAT has been postponed, duration has been shortened. All of the interviews are conducted virtually. For MCAS, some of the schools are also doing beta interviews where you're recording yourself to certain questions that they post. New policies about the course credits, pass and fail. There's also delay in the timeline for view of applications and also the invitations to interview. So after July 10th, that's the time when the school either automatically or they screen you to give you secondary applications, and that's school specific. I've gradually gotten all of the secondaries starting from the 10th on the day of transmission all the way to, I believe, late August. Because I'm a teacher, I do have the luxury of the whole summer break to write these applications. I highly suggest that you write a draft and let people who are in medical school or your close friends, your family members look over it to give you any suggestions possible. At the end of August, I started back to work again. During that time is probably the most unsettling time where you're waiting for your first interview to come in after submitting all of the applications and doing all of that hard work. You kind of like start to doubt yourself when you don't get applications and see other people are getting it, that, oh, what if there was something wrong in my application? What if my letters of recommendations are not that great enough? I've been feeling that almost every day before I got my first interview. My very first medical school interview invite came the end of September. After that interview invite, interviews gradually started to come in. I did feel a sense of relief, definitely same feeling as the acceptance almost, that I finally got an interview invite, and that came from one of the top schools that I wanted to go to. So I was extra excited, and for the coming interviews, they were all schools if I got accepted I would go to. I do feel very fortunate about the results so far, although as pre-med there's always that neurotic sense of I'm not doing enough or I could do better, but really try to stay away from these feelings during the application cycle and focus you already have. I think that's a general attitude towards life. Appreciate what you already do have and support others. So thank you for watching. This is my very first YouTube video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to follow along with my journey to medical school and in medical school. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.